it's time for our small group activity. So I want you to sit up on your chairs and let's go. Are you listening? Are you listening? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Are you really listening? Are you really listening? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Wiggle your fingers high. Wiggle your fingers low. Put them at your side and leave them just so. Open them, shut them, open them, shut them. Give them a little clap, clap, clap. Shut them, open them, shut them, open them. Put them on your teeny weeny lap. Roll them, roll them, roll them, roll them just like that. Wave them, wave them, wave them. Blow them a little. Blow them a little kiss and place your hands on your lap. And let's listen up. So boys and girls, what did we create yesterday? Very good. Yesterday we created our family tree. And what part of the tree did you color brown? Great job. The tree trunk and the branches. Next question. How many persons are there in your family? Very good. Girls, today you all will be creating a family graph. What are you going to create? A family graph. Graphs are used to represent information. What are graphs used for? Very good. Graphs are used to represent information. So let's take a closer look at the graph that's in front of us. Alright, let's look at the graph. What are you seeing in front of you? Words, very good. Lines, excellent. Boxes, very good. Or squares, What else are you seeing? Pictures, excellent job. Pictures of what? Family members, very good. So let's look at the bottom of our graph and we're going to identify the family members we are seeing. So let's go. Who is this person? Grandfather, grandmother, father, very good. Who is this person? Mother, good job. Who is this person? Brother, sister, this person here. Baby, who is this person? Cousin, who is this person? Aunt and uncle. Very good, boys and girls. So, on our graph, we are seeing words. This label says stick number. We are seeing squares or boxes. We are seeing pictures of family members. Very good. So now we are going to add our family's information on the graph that's in front of you. So I want you to get your crayon and you will need a bottle of glue. I want you to remember that a family is a group of persons who are related to each other and lives under the same roof or household. So let's look at the first picture. Who are you seeing in the first picture? Grandfather. So if your grandfather lives in the same household as you, I want you to shade or color the square above grandfather. Very good. Let's look at the other picture. Who are you seeing here? Grandmother. So if your grandmother lives in the same household as you, what are you going to do? Color the square above grandmother. Alright, let's go. Very good. Who are you seeing in the next picture? Father. So, if your father lives in the same household as you, I want you to color the square above father. So, I'm going to color the square. My father lives in the same household as me. Alright. Let's look at the other picture. Who are you seeing here? Mother. So again, if your mother lives in the same household as you, what are you going to do? Color the square. So Auntie Kizzy is going to color the square as well. I live with my mom. Very good. Let's take a look at the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth picture. Who are you seeing in the picture? Brother. So if your brother lives in the same household as you, what are you going to do? Color the square above brother. But if you have 2 brothers, then how many squares are you going to color? 2. Alright, so Auntie Kizzy has 1 brother. So I'm going to color one of the squares. Alright, let's look at the 6th picture. Who are you seeing here? Sister. So, if your sister lives in the same household as you, what are you going to do? Color the square above sister. So again, some of you may have 1 sister, some of you may have 2 sisters. But what if you don't have any sisters? Are you going to color any of those squares? No. Auntie Kizzy has 2 sisters, so I'm going to color 2 of the squares. So 1, and this is 2. Alright. Next picture. Who are you seeing in this picture? Baby. So, do you have a baby brother or a baby sister? If you have 1 baby brother, you're going to color how many squares? 1. If you have 1 baby sister, how many squares are you going to color? 1 square. If you don't have any baby sister, are you going to color any of the squares? No. If you don't have a baby brother, are you going to color any of the squares? No. Alright. I'm going to give you some time. Very good. Let's look at the picture here. Who are you seeing in this picture? Cousins. So, if your cousins lives in the same household as you, you're going to color a square above cousin. So, if you have 2 cousins, you can color 2 squares. If you have 1 cousin, you're going to color 1 of the squares. If you have 3 cousins, how many squares are you going to color? 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so I'm going to give you some time again. Excellent job. So the next picture we're going to look at, who are you seeing? Aunt. So if your aunt lives in the same household as you, you're going to color again a square above aunt. If you have 2 aunts living in the same household as you, how many squares are you going to color? 2 squares. 1, 2. Alright, I'm going to give you some time. Very good. And let's look at the last picture. Who are you seeing there? Uncle. So if your uncle lives in the same household as you, what are you going to do? Color a square above uncle. Very good. Let's go. Great job, boys and girls. Boys and girls, each square that we colored represents the number of persons in our family. So now we are going to count the number of persons in our family. So let's look at the top of our graph. There's a label that says stick number. Are you seeing it? What does the label say? Stick number. So we are going to count the number of squares that we colored above each family member, and we are going to stick numbers to match the value of each square. Are you ready? So you'll need your bottle of glue. So I want you to get your bottle of glue, and your mummies and daddies will lay out some numbers in front of you. Alright, let's look at the first picture. Who are you seeing in the first picture? Grandfather. So let's count the number of squares you colored above grandfather. Good job. So if you colored 1 square above grandfather, what number you want to stick on top here? The number 1. Very good. So I'm going to give you some time to stick. And if you're having trouble to open your glue, remember you are turning the orange nozzle on top. Okay, and if you're squeezing the glue and it's not coming out, it means you have dry glue to the top of your nozzle. So you have to peel it out, and one tiny drop of glue you're going to use. One tiny drop. Just remember you want to save glue for tomorrow. Alright, let's look at the second picture here. Who are you seeing? Grandmother. So if you colored 1 square above grandmother, what number are you going to stick on top? The number 1. Alright. Let's look at the third picture. Let's count the number of squares that we colored. Auntie Kizzy colored 1 square. So you can count. So I have 1 square. So I have to stick the number 1 under the label that says stick number. See? Okay. Let's look at the fourth picture. Who are you seeing in the fourth picture? Mother. So let's count the number of squares that we colored above mother. I colored 1 square. So I have to stick what number? The number 1. So you can go ahead and stick yours. Alright. Let's look at the fifth picture. Who are you seeing in the fifth picture? Brother. Alright. Let's count the number of squares that we colored on above brother. So, if you colored 2 squares above brother, what number are you going to stick? The number 2. Alright, let's go. Count the squares before you stick any of the numbers. So I'm going to count 1. So I have to stick the number 1. Alright, let's go again. What are you seeing in this picture here? Sister. So count the number of squares you colored above sister. I'm going to count mine as well. 1, 2. So I'm going to stick the number 2. Alright. Let's look at the other picture. What is this picture here? Who is the person in this picture? Sorry. Baby. So count the squares above baby. Alright. So if you have a baby sister, if you have a baby brother, you're going to count the squares that you colored, and then you're going to match the number on top. Alright, who are you seeing in this picture? Cousin. Let's count the squares that you colored above cousin. So if you have 3 cousins, 1, 2, 3, what number are you going to stick on top? The number 3. Very good. Alright, what are you seeing in this picture? Aunt. So if you colored any of the squares above aunt, I want you to count them, and then you're going to stick the number on top. The number of aunts that lives in the same household as you. Alright, and let's look at the last picture. Who are you seeing in the last picture? Uncle. Alright, so count the number of squares that you colored above uncle. So, if you have 2 uncles living in the same household as you, what number are you going to put on top here? The number 2. Very good, boys and girls. Excellent job, boys and girls. Give yourself a clap. Very good. And how many persons are there in your family? Excellent job. So we are going to recite our poem entitled Families. Families are big and families are small. Families are different and we love them all. Some have mothers, Some have fathers, some have sisters, and some have brothers. Some have grandfathers, some have grandmothers. Some have cousins, some have aunts and uncles. I love my family. Boys and girls, are all families the same? No. Every family is different and we love them all. What did we create today, boys and girls? Our family graph. And the graph we created represents the number of persons in our family. Very good for everyone, everyone, everyone. Very good for everyone, everyone. Thumbs up and high fives. So boys and girls, we're going to get ready for fruit time. But before we can have our fruit, we need to do what? Pack away.